How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Diamond Owl Studios, the number one place in America and the planet and the universe for music reactions. I'm your host, Paper Chase.
And it's the one and only Diamond Don Juan. We are back with another reaction just for you.
That's right, baby. We are back. And why don't you tell them what we're getting into today, Diamond Don?
One of the most iconic guitar performances of all time.
Okay.
And I'm not even, being blustery. I'm not being braggadocious. I'm not being a blowhard.
Dang.
None of those things.
Bootlicker?
I don't know if that applies.
Well,
but
I don't even know what does bustery mean? Blustery?
Blustery.
What's that mean?
Like blustering, like the wind bluster, like talking out of your ass, basically.
I don't think that word means what you think it means. All right. But hey, no, so we're listening to, you didn't even say what we're listening to. Jimi Hendrix, Star Spangled Banner at Woodstock. I'm excited for this one. We've seen a couple Woodstock performances, and every single time we watch them, you bring this performance up. So
yep,
I'm looking forward to this.
And he finally caved under the pressure. He actually said that he wanted to do it because he's been thinking about it and he really wanted to see what it was about. And so here we are, his first time reaction to the Jimi Hendrix Star Spangled Banner.
Let's do it. Okay. That was something. No, that was dope. I feel like it was dope. And I feel like, you know, some of that extracurricular was just like something that nobody else could have or would have done. So it was definitely not what I expected going into it, but that was pretty incredible.
Yeah, so I was reading that this is like one of the most iconic performances from Woodstock, like the most well-known, you know, performances that was, you know, part of the event. Apparently it happened like on Sunday morning. The crowd was originally like 400,000 people. So the concert was kind of like coming to an end on Sunday morning, and it had dwindled down to like 30 or 40,000 people, which is still, you know, incredible. But I guess this happened at like 9 a.m. It's funny because it said on chat, because I was just trying to get some context. It said that, you know, 30 to 40,000 exhausted concert goers. I just thought,
yeah, that is funny. I wonder if you...
But you know how it is, like a festival, especially like that, where it's like raining, mud, everybody's doing substances, and then there they are, right early, 9 in the morning.
I wonder how hard he was tripping during that.
Who knows? Maybe he was dead sober, you know?
Wasn't he like known for like putting acid in his headband and things like that?
Yeah.
I mean, Woodstock. I'm sure he was just loving it. What do you think?
Everybody that went there was probably just partying their ass off on all types of substances. I remember seeing like a video recently because it came through my feed and it was like Woodstock related, and I was like, oh, let me just, you know, watch this. And it was pretty funny. It was like this nurse that was like, you know, talking about like taking care of people. And when I say nurse, she would just look like, you know, like a hippie. She was all out in the garb, but she was there to take care of people. And there was somebody like interviewing her and they were asking her like, so like, what are you dealing with? Like, what's going on here? And she's like, well, you know, we got all these like people, like, you know, these guys like did some white crosses, which is like speed. And they're just like a little whacked out, man, because they haven't been sleeping. And, you know, this other guy, you know, he ate some like shrooms and he was just kind of having, you know, a rough time. We just help him calm down.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I bet it was such a vibe, man. Like that's one of those life experience, like one of those historical events that I would have loved to experience, you know? I mean, yeah, I really wonder what inspired him to do that though.
I do find it interesting because another thing that was mentioned is that, you know, it's just like everything. It's funny because we think that in our current times that everything is so polarized. It's so polarized. We've never been more divided. But shit was pretty divided back then. I mean, we had the Vietnam War. You had people protesting in the streets. You have one generation that's like kind of known for being like buttoned up, suit and tie, and then you have the long-haired hippies. So to act like there wasn't division, I mean, I don't know if you know, I think it was Kent State Massacre. Are you familiar with that? So there was a college, I believe it was Kent State, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were protesting, and the National Guard opened fire on college students and like killed them. And there's like this iconic, I don't know if it was from Kent State, but I'm just like describing the era where there was a soldier with his like rifle and this like hippie girl comes and puts the flour in the barrel. So you have this like extreme like separation. I say all that because, you know, I was reading that there were people who were offended thinking that what he did with the anthem was disrespectful, the way that he played it. And his take on it, I guess he was a paratrooper, was that it wasn't disrespectful. He thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
But I can see how like that's a very distinct moment in time where you have like your conservative, your typical, you know, crowd who has their idea of what the Star Spangled Banner is. And then he comes in on stage, which, you know, that's something else I'll talk about with his like style, but just like, he comes on stage and just absolutely just like starts riffing it. You know, it's kind of abstract. I mean, he's just, you know, doing stuff with the banner that has never been done before or since, you know, with that guitar playing. And I can see how that is like a transition where it's like, hey, however you take it, regardless, like there is a distinct like branch in society. We're going in a different direction.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was super interesting choice. That makes sense if he served. And, you know, yeah. And it's crazy to think that nowadays, like you hear the Star Spangled Banner and, games or whatever, and it's done in just a multitude of ways, and like, people in all kinds of different ways. And it's crazy now that that's totally acceptable. And back then people were like, oh, he's disrespectful.
I mean, we're still doing the same thing though. Look at the halftime show. People got all up in arms about the halftime show.
Yeah.
So there's still versions of that happening where people do get very invested and they have these things that have a lot of meaning. And if it changes, then, it upsets people.
100%.
But yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is like you see Jimi come out on stage with that like tasseled white, and the headband, and just even that in and of itself, like his style and his swagger. It's like we have artists today that are still taking from that, and like Lenny Kravitz. I mean, if you look at Lenny Kravitz, like how could you say that his style wasn't inspired by Hendrix?
Bruno Mars even wears some of those fits and some of those styles for
exactly.
Sure, so.
That's what's, so amazing about him is not just like the way that he was able to take the Star Spangled Banner, turn it into something new, but then like his whole style and everything is so iconic that, what is it? Like, when was Woodstock? 69?
69,
I think it was 69.
Yeah,
so
I
here
don't
we
know
are.
for sure, but yeah. It's crazy.
70 years later or whatever, and it's still influencing people.
That's crazy to think about.
It is insane.
Yeah, 57 years later.
Yeah.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Crazy. But thank you guys for watching, man. That was so much fun. I'm glad we finally dove into this. If you guys enjoyed that reaction, make sure you drop a like. And if you want to join us on this journey of discovering epic performances like this one, hit that subscribe button.
That's right. And we will see you on the next one.
Peace.